Okay, folks, here's the deal.
I'm at the bottom of the Grand Canyon.
This is going to be a special
One of the most intense trails.
This is the operating station.
That's a bear.
Wow, do I really look like a guy with a plan?
The traveler has
I just do things.
He was a huge, beastly, bulging man. Plates were from Kansas.
That's right, folks. Welcome to the 5th episode of the POTA Elmer Hour, we're calling it now. I'm Mike, Kilo Echo Zero, Victor India Mike. This is the Travelin Ham. This is the POTA Elmer Hour, where we are here to answer beginner questions about POTA. It couldn't even be experienced questions about POTA. Seems like, a lot of questions are about researching parks. We can certainly do that. You got somewhere you're visiting for vacation this summer you want to do some research on? We can help you out with that. You just got simple entry-level questions for Parks on the Air. We are here for you. No question is too silly. Silly questions make me feel really smart. No question has ever been asked before, and we will never tell you to read the freaking manual. But if need be, we'll open up the freaking manual and read it together. Sometimes that's the right thing to do. I was very late in setting up my live stream, so I think I might have submarined its turnout here at the very beginning. But I got James. James is right in there. James KI5 OEB, and I think this is Vance Air Force Base. James, is that the right James? Do I have the right guy? I think so. I get a few of you mixed up. There's a bunch of James out there. You're not in the level of Mike's or Jason's or Steve's, but there's a few James out there, and enough to confuse me anyway. Good to see you in there though, buddy. Thanks for showing up. I posted this all of 10 minutes ago. I should have made it yesterday or last night and had it up to draw people in. Yes, sir. All right, I got the right guy. Nice to have you here from Vance Air Force Base, James. And we got Jeff, Alpha 4, Bravo Charlie. Good to have you in here again, Jeff. Thanks for showing up. Hayden, good day, sir, from Australia. There's a contact I don't get very often, is Australia. I've had a few, but yeah, it seems like that's been a challenge from the West Coast. James is at work. Okay, all right. We'll keep it down, buddy. We'll keep it down. Not make too much noise here. Great to have you guys all in here at the beginning. And Chris is cooking. What are you making, Chris? What do you got going on? Tell me. Is it fancy? Is it Mexican? Italian? Red meat? What you got? All right. While I salivate here, waiting for Chris to tell me what he's making for dinner. Let's look at some conditions here. I haven't paid too much attention today, to be honest, because it's been super windy here. We had a cold front come through last night, a little bit of rain and storms, and the wind's been blowing 30 miles an hour most of the day. And I just got around to getting my antenna back up after laying it down at 4 a.m. last night. And I haven't paid too much attention to the conditions. Steak and broccoli, nice, very nice. So it says very quiet conditions. Sometimes I wonder if that is noise or if that's actually the bands. The bands are very quiet. I guess it could be both. We got an SFI of 138, a K index of 1.67. Again, the K is the one you want to pay attention to. A looks back too far in time and just usually isn't all that accurate for us. K just is more recent history. It's like the highest point in the last 3 hours or the average of the last 3 hours, something like that. This is the K is the one that you want to look at as a ham radio operator. And the X-ray flux is down to B level. That's been quiet. That's been quiet all day. This is like a solar minimum kind of look down here with no flares. You guys will like that about solar minimum if you haven't experienced that already. All right, we got people piling in here. We got Eric, N1JUR. Good to see you, buddy. Nice to see you from the from the granite state of New Hampshire. Live free and die. Live free and die. Live free or die. That's a better tagline if it's or rather than and. Steak and James is gonna join for steak. Okay. 14 or 16 hours. I don't think that steak's gonna be any good, buddy. Gonna be just a bit too far. Hey, speaking of long drives, I am ready. I am ready for my next long drive now. I've got the last piece of what I need to go to Hamvention. There we go. I just got a box full of these guys. 200 of them. Well, I gave one to each of my kids. So $4.98. I'll probably give one to my mom too. So $197. But hey, 200. We're going to be getting rid of all of these in Hamvention. Can't wait to get there. Very, very excited. It's so fun. Now, this being my 7th Hamvention as a ham, I believe. 6th or 7th. Because we got 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. This is 8th? Are you kidding me? Yeah, my 8th Hamvention as a ham. This is the first time I'm going. So it's fun to hear everybody talk about it coming up, and I actually get to go this time. As long as nothing happens here in the next week. So we doing POTA or maybe trying a hand at tiles on the air. You know, that might be kind of fun, tiles on the air. I tell you what I thought about on that, James, is I wanted to create a custom map for myself for just, you know, kind of like the satellite guys have, but instead of their satellite contacts, for me, it would be for my POTA activations. And can I activate a park in every grid? That would be a brand new challenge. Or how many grids can I activate parks in? Because some of us are coming up on that 50 state activation goal. Some of us are sitting at 48, and it's going to be a little while before we can add anything else on. And that's just something to break the granularity down with, and fill in some spots and get me to some places in the country I haven't been to yet. You know, if we look at my activation maps here, there's some obvious holes in this map, right? You know, there's some big gaps in here where I haven't activated. And if I tracked my grids activated as opposed to my states, that would be pretty cool. So Tiles on the Air, James, is kind of like its own program. It could be a layer on top of something else, I suppose. That's kind of what I'm describing. But if you go to the Tiles on the Air website, it's actually, it's just like SOTA, it's just like POTA, but it's just activating grid squares. And I think he even takes it to, check me if I'm wrong, Eric, but I think he took it down to 6 characters. So I'm an Echo Mike 17. But this would go all the way down to like Echo Mike 17, you know, Mike Golf or something like that. So it would, and I can't recall if he's tracking activations or hunting or both. But that's kind of cool. Kind of add some granularity to these awards, because you know, we're like, for most people, you get to hunt at all states. So what do you do after that? Well, you could try hunting different bands. You could try hunting all states in different modes. Or you could try this tiles layer and try to get hunted all tiles. That would be a cool layer. You know, some of the cooler stuff that you can come up with, or some of the cooler stuff that you can achieve in Parks in the Air, is the stuff that you come up with on your own, and you'll be most proud of that. Both chasers and get credit for your activation, and it does not have to be in a park, though. I think. What, you've got to be in a public space. Obviously, you can't be in, I don't know, like if I was in a Walmart parking lot, Eric, would that count? Is there something that says you have to be in a public space, or is it just anywhere that the general public could be? So, you know, I could be in a Walmart parking lot and activate a grid. Does that count, or do I have to be on some sort of public land? I can't recall that one. You can do it right out your door. Any location. Okay. Okay, provided the police can't be called to remove you just for being there. We think that's anything that counts. So hey, some of us in Cincinnati might be hitting a Taco Bell parking lot to activate a summit. It could also be a tiles on the air then as well, I suppose. Long as it's okay, as long as it's not on private land. So it does have to be on public land. Okay. But it it could be any park. That's the argument for, well, why can't we activate city parks? And I think this gentleman, I can't remember his name. No way I'll think of it. But I think that was one thing that kind of motivated him is now with tiles on the air, you actually could go out and activate in a city park and have it count towards something. So something cool to look at. It's even a little more accessible than parks on the air. So it could do well if it were to take off. I guess in a couple of years we'll know. Hey, Lee McNasty. Nice to have you in the stream. Yeah, it seems like there's always a good live stream on, or a live stream. Let's not call it good just yet. There's always some kind of ham live stream on, isn't there? Especially in the evenings nowadays. And it is Taco Tuesday, so this is the first show in Taco Tuesday. After this, we'll lead up right to the Tuesday night premieres. And ironically, you can see down here in the lower right-hand corner, the first video is mine. That will be starting at 23:09 UTC. So we'll lead up to within a few minutes of that, and then we'll cut out this live stream to head over to the premieres. And then after that, we've got one from Jeff. I think everyone's doing Parks on the Air today. Jeff K3JRZ has a decent video as well, and then we've got Mr. Skydiving himself, Carlos. Life at Terminal Velocity has I think like a 10-minute video. So both Jeff and I are going about 20 minutes, and Carlos is going for 10. Not just a park; it could be a soccer field, a baseball diamond, parking lot. Any sort of public land, okay. But it does not have to be any kind of designated. And Cinco de Mayo, that's right. What else was it? Someone was calling it Revenge of the 5th. Everybody's so darn creative. So, we are here to answer any kind of questions for Parks on the Air. Anybody's got any beginner questions, experience questions, you want to research a park, you don't quite understand about twofers, you don't know how to upload your logs, whatever you got. There's no such thing as a silly question. It doesn't matter if the question was already asked last week, and we will never tell you to go read the freaking manual. But we might get it out and read it together. What is the common from Hayden, Victor Kilo 4 November uniform. What is the common frequency used in the USA for POTA for day and or night? Well, I'm not sure how it is in Australia, but in no way do we have a particular designated POTA frequency. I don't even know. It's gotten so big here now. I don't even know if you can even say there's sections of bands that are POTA only. It just spreads all over the place. It used to be, I started activating quite a bit when I was on 20 meters, like I'd be above 14.300 and up. And I felt like that was a pretty popular section of the band for Parks on the Air. And for me, it was just because there weren't any other specially designated frequencies to avoid. You had 14.300 itself, which is the maritime net guys. There's the crazy guys that are on 313 every once in a while, but there's no like calling frequencies or AM frequencies or QRP calling frequencies or anything like that above 14.300. So I felt like that was a popular POTA spot. That's why I like to operate there. I think other people had the same notion, but it's gotten so big, it's just sort of spread. Sorry, maybe I should have said bands. Well, that one's easy. It's obviously the most popular bands are 20 and 40. That's just the nature of the beast. So let's see if I turned off. Let's sign out here. And now I've got my. So we can see here's the breakdown. Of course, this isn't just the U.S. This is worldwide, but most of them here in the middle of the day will be in the U.S. And you can see most people are on 20 meters and most people are on 40 meters. And generally you got 20 meters in the day and 40 meters at night. Although there's plenty of people that operate out here in the eastern part of the U.S. You know, if you're in Australia and maybe not familiar with U.S. demographics and geography, this is where most of our population is. We got the Mississippi River going down right down here, about the right third of the country, and most of the population is east of there. And a lot of these guys will use 40 meters around the clock because even in the daytime they can get people really close. If you're over here in central Nevada, you're not going to get anywhere near those results on 40 in the middle of the day because your signal's just going to be out here hitting desert. There's very few people in general, let alone hams ready to return a CQ POTA. So that's generally where we end up. 10 and 15 are, those are probably the next two, and then you get into the work bands. Some people try to avoid the work bands here, and others don't care. They'll use whatever, or they'll just work through every single one. I've found that when I'm operating out west, there's usually one or two bands that are working pretty good to get me over here to the east, to where I can hear everybody, and then I'll spend a little bit of time calling on 40 or something something fairly low that will get some people nearby as well. You get a lot of people. It so much of it is geography driven. You'll get a lot of people out east that say, "Oh, you should work every band, 10 through 40. Just start at 10 and work your way all the way down. Work all of them, every single band." And then when I'm traveling out west, I'm sitting in Colorado in the middle of summer, and the only band I hear anybody on is 20, because 10 and 15 are hopping over the entire country, and I'm not hearing anybody. And then 40 is just hitting rural western landscape and not enough densely populated areas to complete an activation. I'm sitting there on 20, and that's the only one I got that I can use. There were times in Washington last summer that were the same way. So, that's kind of how it goes. When you're out east, it can be a little bit like shooting fish in a barrel. It's a little bit tougher out west. So if you're out east and you'd like a little bit of a challenge, there you go. Try Western State. Bring your radio with you. Is Ham 2K Polo usable on tiles on the air? I would be surprised if it is, James, because that's something that's just so new and just not really prevalent yet. Let's do the man some justice, and let's actually go. Look at the website here. Ham radio in the great outdoors. That's nice photo there. I don't recognize that one. Let's see. We got an about here somewhere. Start activating. View live spots. No spots found. So that's how new this is. No spots currently. I remember when we used to get that in Parks on the Air back in 2021. 2020. Once I got to 2022, I don't think that was an issue. How tile stacks with POTA and soda. Oh, it's just got a little comparison chart here. So, you know, this is a good activity too if you're one of those guys that you don't have any parks or summits near you. You know, you hear the comment a lot, there's no POTA within an hour of their location. There's only one or two parks. They really don't have too much available to them. You know, this is something that you could do with stacking tiles. It looks like he calls it score. And there is let's see, core to scoring. There's distance tracking, distance to QS, distance times QSOs plus bonuses. There's a separate mobile category. And you only need, here's an interesting one. You only need one QSO to activate a grid, it looks like, where you need 10 on POTA and 4 on SOTA. So that's pretty interesting. Of course, there's what, over 400 grids. And then you're even breaking those down into, gosh, how far do they break down? I'll pull up a Maidenhead grid on here. I mean, you know, the satellite guys are always trying to activate all grid square or hunt all grid squares. And you're, nah, that's not what I want. And you're talking about 400 some. Just want a map I can zoom in on. I can do it on my phone, but it's a camera right now. I'm just wondering how many grid squares there would actually be, right? You only need one to activate a grid square, but my gosh, how many of them are there? If you're breaking it down to 6 characters, you're talking 400 times. I don't even know how far they go. Is there 400 per? You know, I mean, it's just a ridiculous number of grid squares. So theoretically, it could be never ending. I suppose you could have some that don't have public land within them to activate. They're breaking them down so tiny. So hey, that's something to look into. And if you're interested in getting in and looking into that any farther with this POTA adjacent system here, look on Eric's channel, Brew and Activate. He had a nice interview. Look it up here. Is that its own channel? There we go. You can go to Eric's channel or you can go to Shannon's channel. I don't know her call sign off the top of my head. But there is this one right here. Start activating grids, tiles on the air. About a week and a half ago. Good one to check out there if you're interested in more information. They had a couple good ones here lately. A couple good interviews. The POTA Cat was another one too. Nice job, Eric. No, Eric brought it up very thoughtfully. Yeah, it was not some random comment. All right, something I wanted to bring up today. It's the title of the video. That remember, POTA is just the vehicle. So what does that mean? You know, I learned pretty early on in YouTube that, you know, activating a park and making a video about activating a park wasn't enough. And I think a lot of us have learned that lesson. That's not enough to interest people. You have to answer the question, so what? You know, the POTA activation's great, but that's not really why people are there or why they're watching. You know, what are they getting out of it? What information are they able to take out of that? You know, what experiences or you know, what suggestions about equipment or locations or propagation? What information are they able to pull out of that? And it's similar for you and a lot of these goals and achievements that we can achieve in Parks on the Air. So what? There was a real interesting comment, and he's since pulled it down. I think he drew some negative comments from it. So I think he changed his comment, which is okay. I think it's an interesting conversation, though. He had completed activating 50 states, which is a really cool, obviously that's a very complex achievement to earn, is to activate all 50 states. And he basically said he took like 3 really epic road trips and was able to activate all states. And when he was done, you could tell through his comment, it kind of felt him a little bit empty. Like, well, you know, was that it? You know, and he even made the suggestion, maybe we should, you know, could we add like, what do they call it? You can, on top of your awards, you can get other certifications for, you know, having completed awards only on one band or in different modes. And he was thinking, you know, could we have more certifications on top of our Activate All States award? Like, okay, well, I've activated 10 parks in all states, you know, and be able to build it up that way. And, you know, it reminded me that, you know, if the certificate is all you're after, I think you're missing some of the better parts of POTA. It's about, you know, getting out in the outdoors for one. You know, don't just go to your park and find one parking lot, go to the same place every time. Go to different spots. See different parts of the park. See parks you don't normally go to. Use equipment you wouldn't ordinarily use. Try to do different stuff so that when, you know, you earn something like a kilo in a park, it's just not from you going to one spot and doing the same thing over and over again and having done it 1,000 times. You want to see that certificate sitting hanging from your wall, and you want to have, you know, a rich volume of experiences and lessons and things that can be taken away from all those activations other than just a piece of paper. If it's just a piece of paper, I think you're gonna feel hollow when all is said and done. Because when it gets right down to it, you know, I've activated 48 states myself. I'm planning on getting DC this year and getting to 49. And then it's going to be a matter of getting to either Alaska or Hawaii, you know, and then it's all done. And it's a piece of paper hanging on the wall. And we get to that same question. So what? You know, and you want to have some experiences that happen, some memories that you have, some things that you've learned that you wouldn't have learned otherwise if you hadn't achieved that the work that you did to get that certificate hanging on your wall is just the vehicle to get you out there and learning this stuff and having these experiences, seeing these places, maybe meeting some of these people. And you know, it's too bad he took the comment down, but because I think it's an interesting conversation. But you know, when you hang that certificate on the wall, have stuff behind it in your mind, experiences and lessons learned and things like that. If someone points to it and asks you about that certificate, what are you going to tell them? You know, what was cool about what went on with all that you can tell them. And if you can do that, now you're really getting what you need to get out of Parks on the Air. And, you know, I'm sure this gentleman had a lot of cool experiences, but, you know, I think his mentality was just to make these road trips and get it all done. And there was probably a lot of planning. I'm sure he enjoyed it, and it feels cool to have it done, but you could tell through his comment, he just felt a little hollow inside with it all done. And then it just ended up with a what now, but KE0MAD, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for stopping by. Have a good evening. Remember, there's going to be other good stuff on later tonight as well. We got the premiere videos after this live stream leading right up to Ham Radio Clubhouse. And, last week was a good example. You never know what they're going to end up talking about on that show. The inflatable antenna episode will be remembered for a while, I think. Oh boy, that went to some interesting places. So anyway, I think I've taken that as far as I need to. There's James is after making a little more of a challenge out of it. I don't want to see a video of a person or group setting up an amp and a vertical, get a kilo in one day and just mow it all down. Well, I'd be interested to see if they could get it done, and what is getting 1,000 QSOs in one day looks like. Or like I've said before, I'd like to see the one where they rove for 30 or 40 parks in a day. I'd like to see that. I would like to see that. KE0MAD in southwest Missouri. I'll be driving through, probably either on the way to Hamvention or the way back. I'll be driving through, and maybe I'll try some of the 5-2 challenge while I'm driving to keep myself entertained. So I'm guessing you're in Joplin area or something like that. So maybe I'll get on the horn one way when I'm going through. I want to at least one direction. I want to go up I-44 and go through Uranus on I-44 in Missouri. That's just too rich. So maybe we'll see you there. MAD. Have a good evening. I love V and J. Oh, Vaughn and Julie. I'd rather do the POTA. Okay, all right. Between Joplin and Springfield. Okay. Yep, I know the area. Yeah, and those are two folks that can they can make it entertaining enough that they can get some people to watch. And some of these folks kind of get their own little club formed around them, and they get their regulars, and they can have their own Discords and their own YouTube videos, and people watch, and they jump in there, watch the live stream, hop on the radio, and say hi. I don't have that. I don't have that. And there's something about the dynamic of the couples that always has people interested. We've seen that a few times here over the last 3, 4, or 5 years, and it always seems pretty effective. Mike and Becky have done real well. CW helps, but still, there was another Florida couple that was doing activations a couple years ago. They don't so much anymore, but a year or two ago they were, and they were doing reasonably well. So that's a dynamic that's done really well. I don't know how far you could take that, how successful you can be with it, but POTA Power is doing pretty good. Am I catching him? Let's see. I'm interested in meeting Vaughn and Julie. Definitely, we got some great personalities in ham radio, and they're there. They're at 2.91. I'm at 2.81 thousand subscribers. So they've got just over 2,900. I've got just over 28. So I'm chasing them down. See if I can beat them to 3. I don't know. They're pretty close. They'll be fun to meet. Looking forward to meeting a lot of people. If you're going Hamvention, and you see me, come up and say hi. Absolutely, come up and say hi. Get yourself a sticker. 200. I want them. I want them all gone. "30 Park Grove takes a lot of prep work, indeed, and they would. Yeah, that could be a video in and of itself, putting all that together. The first drove I did was in Maine. Man, and it was. I put a decent amount of time into that before I even hit the road. And, it was all, I can't drive around and scout things out. It's all on the internet. But we're way up here in the northern part of Maine. And I ended up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 parks. These 8 parks all right in here. These over here are all Canada. And that was 2022. It was not easy to go across the border in 2022, so I didn't operate any of those. But these all right here, none of them had ever been activated, and I got those done. It was 200 some odd miles driving around there to get 7 parks, and I was exhausted. And I didn't even get them done. I didn't even get them all done in the same day. I could have if I had started the evening before, but I started up here at this park right on the border early in the morning and made my way around, and I activated this one park here after the midnight hour UTC. So it was in one of these I couldn't had no trespassing signs. I think it was this one. Yeah, Butler Island Wildlife Management Area had no trespassing signs. You had to get special permission just to be on site. So I didn't get that one done. So I got 6 in one day. Couldn't do that one, and got 7 later that evening, technically the second day. But after driving all that and all that research and the effort it takes to get to some of these parks that have never been activated was exhausting. So I couldn't imagine doing 30. I know there's, probably a lot of twofers and threefers involved, and, they got some things lined up that they can just really, really knock them down. But that's what I'd be interested to see. Its own camera, yeah, and I'd ride along and be the camera person. I don't need to activate any of that. I don't know how you make a video like that entertaining, but I'd at least be interested from a logistical point of view. How do you do that? What does that look like? And I remember hearing James Bond talk about it, and there was not only a lot of preparation, but there was, he had a team of people helping him. They had set up crews and things like that. It sounded like leapfrogging, and, so by the time he got there, it was ready to go, and people holding frequencies. And there was quite a bit that was involved in getting that done, which is part of the fun, planning all that stuff. I got Oklahoma, New Mexico, Texas, Kansas, and Colorado in one day. Could have gotten 10 easily if he had planned. Could have planned and gotten 10 parks easily. Only activated 9 parks that day. But, even that was a decent amount of work. So, yeah, you're over there in the Panhandle area hitting all those states where Oklahoma was nice and thin. That's a pretty good strategy, getting a bunch of states. Yep. The activating up in the Northeast is nice because the states up there are so small. You can just drive for an hour or so and you're in a new state. Yay! Compared to some of you guys in Central Texas. All right, if there's no other questions coming through, I think I'll turn the radio on. We'll see what we can hear. I had some noise crop up on me today. I haven't had any noise in this camping spot in over a week. It's been a pretty good spot just today. And it's better now. When I first turned it on about I don't know, 45 minutes before the stream. It was pretty noisy. Yeah, you got some that you could get down there. Missouri, Arkansas, Oklahoma, and Kansas. That would be, yep, those four right in there. And then if you're between Springfield and, what do you say? Oh, no, he's between Joplin and Springfield. Yes, that's what he's close to. That's a pretty easy 4-state area. And if you can get down to this area here where Texas, Arkansas, and Oklahoma meet, you can even get some sodas in there too, believe it or not. There's a bunch of sodas. Maybe not a bunch, but there's some sodas down in that area. All right, let's see here. Let's sign back in so I can filter everything I want. There we go. We'll keep it on SSB for the stream. I wonder how 40 is doing. I haven't done anything on 40 on the stream for a while. How close am I to getting my kilo here? I think I need 26, 24, 25, 28. I got one before the stream, so it's 27. Yeah. What? How do you say that? Was it? I think it was Oshida Mountains. Those are the ones.
They came back for that, and there was.
I think it was Oshida. You guys in Appalachia would feel right at home down in this part of Oklahoma.
But I got to tell you, Dave, I don't mind. Over.
Oh, I don't know how good a reach I got on 40 right now. We got activator spotted in Alabama, Indiana, Kentucky.
QSL, that's it. I wasn't really listening. What's your report again?
Ouachita. Ouachita? I think it's Ouachita. Ouachita. There we go. All right, good coaching, James. Ouachita. I need to do a 40-meter activation here right around midnight UTC one of these evenings because, man, I got good reach all over the country from this spot once 40 really kicks in the evening.
They gonna start printing our call signs? Well, that's what I told Tim the other day, that when I figure out how to do the deal, I'll start printing.
Not POTA activators. Oscar Yankee Delta. That's an activator spotted on this frequency. Uh-oh, we got a debate. Now Lee McNasty's saying it's Washita.
Kilo 9, Oscar Bravo. I got you 5-8 Michigan, Mike India.
All right, Google AI agrees with Lee McNasty. He says Washita.
I'll stand by for the second up.
Common mispronunciations. It is not Uwachita.
5-8 in Michigan, Mike India.
Here we go. We got a YouTube.
Take care, 7-3.
How do you say this name? We'll be looking at how to say more names of famous places in the US as well. So that's the name of a Baptist University, a river, a tribe, mountains, a parish in Arkansas. Washita. Yeah, Washita, not Wachita. Wachita. Washita.
Washita. Washita. I don't know if you could hear that, but it was Washita. There you go. For what that's worth. Okay, we got 2 ops. So how are they running it? Kilo Romeo 4 Delta Hotel Golf went second. They're reversing order.
Roger, man. You're 5-9 also up here in Chattahoochee. Chattahoochee. I love it up there. Have a great evening. Thanks for being out there in 23. All right, thank you for being out there. You guys be safe, especially tomorrow night. Supposed to get some storms coming in. Yeah, Roger.
Somebody comes in here strong, it's gonna blow my speaker out.
Thank you, guys.
TR4 DHG. Got World Radio League automatically bringing in the park, but not adjusting the frequency again. Now I got somebody, it's already pretty tough. Now I got somebody creeping in. Ah, gosh, they're just so light. Oh, that actually helps. And they are really in and out there.
office mark number 0160.
Kilo Echo 0, Victor India Mike, park to park. Kilo Echo 0, Victor India Mike. I say again, Kilo Echo 0, Victoria, Italy, Mexico.
You're way down there,
Kilo Echo 0, Victor India Mike, Victoria, Italy, Mexico. Very important man. QSL?
Negative, Kilo Echo 0,
Victor India Mike, Victor India Mexico, Victor India Mike.
got you a 5-3 into Alabama,
QSL, I've got your park number. I've got you 3 and 2. 3 and 2 to US 2 3 3 1. That's 3 and 2 to US 3 2 2 1. Roger.
I got park number 3221 QSL.
2331. I say again, park number 2331. QSL. Park number is US 2331. I say again, US 2331. One more time, 2331. QSL. Again. QSL, you've got it right. QSL, Kilo Romeo 4, Delta Hotel Golf. I've got you 3 and 2 to the same park in Kansas, Kilo Sierra. Roger. Thank you. You guys have fun. 7-3. Whew. I didn't think that was going to happen. That was 40 meters to Alabama. Not bad. Both of my contacts so far have been to Alabama. I got those two guys. Were they even at 2 parks? 2 guys, 1 park. 0160. Spot them so they get taken off my page here. Whew, that was tough. A lot of rag chews on 40. Excited to see what ICOM's going to release at the show next week. I'm hoping it's a 7100 replacement. That would be of interest to me. They will likely not be sending one to me to review, though they should. This one sounds good. California. No.
rights, and
That sounds like a rag chew, not a POTA.
he got out of it. Most people don't come off that damn ventilator.
I think they're talking about Giuliani.
I had to have a bypass surgery, three-vessel bypass, and of course when you wake up after a bypass,
Should I get on and ask them if they're in the park?
and I'm going to tell you what, when they took me off that, I was the happiest camper there ever was.
I'm probably going to go tonight till about 5 or 6 minutes after the hour and give it a few minutes for the premieres to get going, get everybody get over there, get set up for all the new premieres tonight leading up to Ham Radio Clubhouse. Anybody got any POTA questions, drop them in the chat. That is what we're here for. Radio is just to fill time. Oh, gosh, station in Virginia, Florida. That's a... Can hear the Hunter. And he's in Alabama. Okay, I can hear him there a little bit. AC4WC. I'll be able to hear. There's one on. I got Taxman on 40 in Alabama. Maybe I could hear him. It's stale though. He was 22 minutes ago. Don't you hate that? Stale. He has since quit. I try this one at Torrey Pines in California, 7180. Buzz down there real quick. I'm hoping, I'm a bit different than everyone else if you haven't noticed. I'm hoping whatever this new radio is that ICOM comes out with is not some $1,500 to $2,000 radio. I mean, if it's an IC 7100 replacement, I'd love to see a large LCD touchscreen, a screen I can see well out in the field. I don't need all the frills and the bells and whistles. Just give me a functional radio. I hope that's what it is. You know, then it's more of the $1,000 to $1,200 range. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm not going to hold my breath. About Indiana on 192. It might be about Alabama-ish range, right? No worky. I better get back to 20 here, see if we can. Or I get Whiskey 1 Alpha Whiskey.
Kilo Mike 7, Echo Bravo Golf, 59 New Hampshire. W1AW, W6IVO. Okay, thank you for the call. Have a good evening. The W6IVO, this is Italy Victor Oscar. Yes, Whiskey 6 India, Victor Oscar, about 5 dB over 9 in Southern California.
All right, thank you.
Portable 1, he said.
You're 59 New Hampshire. The Worked All States 250th anniversary. Go ahead.
Thank you very much.
7-3, Whiskey 1 Alpha, Whiskey, Portable 1.
Kilo Echo 0, Victor, India Mike.
Kilo Echo 0, Victor, India Mike, 59 New Hampshire.
Thank you, 5-9, Kilo Sierra.
Thank you. Who's the other station?
I killed my camera, I see.
W7 Triple United, 59 New Hampshire.
I got it.
Thank you. Have a good evening. Whiskey 1 Alpha, Whiskey, Portable 1.
And you know what? The beautiful thing about POTA, it counts as an activation contact.
59 New Hampshire.
Doesn't matter if they're POTA or not. Log it. Bang.
Thank you. Have a good evening. Whiskey 1 Alpha, Whiskey, Stroke 1.
He said New Hampshire. That Matt puts it in Connecticut, but that's going to Whiskey 1 Alpha Whiskey, I suppose. All right, let's fix that camera. Doggone it. RF.
In Rochester, New Hampshire. Thanks for the call, Jim.
All right, we'll switch it to the laptop camera.
Oh, you got to come back again. We'll catch you later. Whiskey 1 Alpha, Whiskey,
And then
Portable
switch it back to my
1.
webcam.
Mike Lima.
And oh my gosh, it made it tiny.
10-0 Mike Lima. Good afternoon. 59 New Hampshire.
Huh.
Thank you. Whiskey 1 Alpha, Whiskey, Portable 1.
Here we go. Good enough for me.
W1AW, Stroke 1.
Yeah, all radio contacts count for POTA. That's the great thing about it. There's no required exchange. So, yeah.
Tango something Tango.
It don't matter. POTA don't care.
K6 November
I
Tango.
think it's a good
59
t-shirt
New
idea.
Hampshire.
POTA don't care.
Okay, thank you. Los Angeles.
I gotta say it enough it means something first, I suppose. He's hearing good. He had me 5-9 in New Hampshire. Had no problem hearing me.
Alpha, X-ray, Romeo calling CQ and standing by.
I do not know what my live stream schedule is going to look like over the next few weeks. I'll be driving to Ohio next Tuesday. The following Tuesday, I'm driving back from Ohio, and I'm driving out to Colorado for a graduation. So, you know, I probably won't have a live stream next week. I may not have one the following week. And I think the following Tuesday, we're driving back from Colorado to Kansas. So the next 3 weeks could get a little dicey for this live stream. It might be a little bit of a break, which is exactly what it doesn't need when you're trying to build up a viewership. Hey, Freddie Mac, good to see you in there. No problem, man. Better late than never. Thanks for stopping by and saying hi. Just trying to see if I can get one more contact here before we head over to the premieres. A lot of rag chewing going on out there today. More than half of what I'm hearing.
Roger, 5 and 5 over here on the other coast. 5 and 5, coast to coast, brother.
Yeah, he's kind of quiet. Kind of quiet. Sloan Canyon in Nevada. K7GIO 290. Let's try that one. Dang it. Oh, he's there. He's real quiet, though. Real quiet. Real quiet. I'm getting out east better today and not so much west. How about this Connecticut, 14,325? Maybe he'll be booming in since I got whiskey, 1 Alpha Whiskey in New Hampshire. Only a minute old. Good morning, Pepe. Good to see you. I think I've heard you say you're going to Ohio. Hope to see you there. We're about to hang it up here and head over to the premiere videos. In fact, I think we're just going to do that. We'll go ahead and hang it up here. We got Pepe in there to say hello, and that's just what I was waiting before we shut it down. But I think we're going to go ahead and do that. We'll shut it down. There should be something that pops up. Actually, I don't know if I got that set. Head over to my channel and check out the premieres. I got a video coming up here in 3 minutes. There will be a playlist within that stream and within the text, and that'll guide you through the next videos. And there will be what do you call it, redirects from one video to the next, so you can just hop from one right to the other. I do not have one of those here, but you're on the right channel. Just got to get to a different episode. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me here today. You know, we're here to answer any kind of POTA questions, beginner or otherwise. No questions too silly. Doesn't matter if it was asked last week, we'll answer it again. But I'm not sure how many times I'll be on here the next few weeks. So if nothing else, we'll pick it up again when we get into June. But travel schedule is picking up, and that's gonna kind of throw this off. Looks like Pepe is going to Ohio. Okay, hope to see you there. We'll catch you over at the I keep wanting to say the other live streams, the premieres. We'll see you guys there. 7-3.
He was running his rig 20 words per minute with Morse code. I strode up to his station and said, "Hey man, I got that mode. If you're going to activate Mike, with me you can ride." So I sat at the picnic table and I settled down by his side. He asked if I'd been in a better park to scan across the bands, and I said, "Listen, I POTA everywhere in this here land. I POTA everywhere, man. I POTA everywhere, man. West Coast to the east, man. Sea to shining sea, man. Activations, I've had my share, man. I POTA everywhere. I POTA at Mayo, Arapahoe, Sonora, and Coconino, Yellowstone, Sorrow, Scope, and Coronado, Washita, San Juan, Niagara, Chiricahua, Alma, Mackinac, Kill, Soquat, North Willapa, Redwood, Silverwood, Ironwood, Red Rock Canyon, Bryce Canyon, Black Canyon, and Grand Canyon. I'm a champion. I POTA everywhere, man. I POTA everywhere, man. Craters of the moon, man. Salmon, Brook Lake, Bog, man. Activations, I've had my share, man.